Hi everyone and welcome back to .NET in Minutes. In the last episode we connected our .NET Web API to SQL Server and created two endpoints, get all users and post a new user. Today we are going to build a full CRUD API. Create, read, update and delete users from the database. By the end, you will have a complete web API you can use in real project. And a little surprise about read, I'll give you a read by ID and a read by username. Let's go. Okay, quick recap for previous video. Here's what we already have: a user stable in SQL Server, a user model in C#, a DB context to connect the database, and a user control with get and post endpoints. In this video we'll add GetById, put, delete, and a surprise to GetByName. Let's start Swagger. Here is get all, execute all user we have right now, and create a user. Let's see, Alex and Alex are on gmail.com. Is it working? Perfect, everything is set. Get all, it's working again. Let's start a new video. Right now we can get all users, but sometimes we want just one user by their ID. Let's add that. Public async task. Let's see that Visual Studio is very intuitive because of IntelliSense. The name of the method will be get user by ID with int ID as a parameter. So we have var user equal await db context that users that find async. We'll have a check if user equal null, return not found. We'll speak about error in the next minutes. Okay, and we will have to add the URL, http get and ID. The URL will look like /API/user/1 for ID1, 2 for ID2, and that's all. That's the whole function. The context, db context that user that find async is the select from users where ID equal ID in SQL. And if not found the user, returner 404 not found error. Let's start to see if it's working. We have a get function, get user by ID, ID1 and user1, ID3. I think Alex is ID3, yeah, and 4 is not found because it doesn't exist. Okay, next let's update the user. We will create a put endpoint, public async task I action result. Again, very intuitive. Update user with two parameters this time. One is int ID because we have to find the user, and the second user model user. Var user, existing user, if to check if it already a user with the same ID, await db context that user that find the sync ID, like in the previous function. If existing user equal null, return not found. Get user by ID, it's this part from the update user. And the interesting part, existing user dot name equal user dot name to change the name, existing user dot email. Let's change the user with updated user to be more clear. Okay, existing user dot email equal updated user dot email, await db context that save changes async, and we have to return something. Return okay. Perfect. It have to work, but we have to add http path.id, pull request, replace, and update existing data. First, we have to find the user, and if yes, we have to update properties and save. That's all the function. Let's test in Swagger. First time search for the user 1. Let's search first time in the get to see it is everything okay. Yes, okay. We'll name user1 updated, and user1 updated are on gmail.com for sure. Press execute and it's working. It's that simple. That's simple. When you try to execute the get by ID with ID 1, the same result, user1 updated. The next part, finally, let's delete the user by ID, http delete by ID, public async, task, I action result, delete user, very intuitive. With parameter int name ID, var user equal await db context that users that find async. It's all the same like in the get by ID, user equal null equal null, return not found, and here we have db context that user that remove, and after that await db context that save changes, and we have to return something, return no content. And no content is the standard HTTP 204 response with empty body. Remove generates delete from users where ID equal ID in SQL. And no content, the 204 response. We have to close the error. Okay. Yeah. We have to close here. Perfect. Let's test. Okay, test ID 2 and 200. Okay, 204, everything good. Let's test with get all. Let's see, the ID 4 is deleted. Perfect. Sometimes we don't want all users, we don't want just one by ID. Instead, maybe we want to search by name. For example, all users whose name contain, I don't know, Alex. Let's add a new endpoint for that. HTTP get by name / name between curly braces. Okay. Public async task I action result get user by name. Okay, as a parameter we write a string name. Okay, and here a little bit different. Var users equal await db context that user. Okay, that where you have to map this you that name that contains name. This translates to SQL query like select from user where name like %Alex%. Okay, and to list async to execute the query and return the result as a list. Here we have if users equal null or users different to any, return not found. In the not found function we'll write no users found with name containing and the name that we want to search. And don't forget the $sign in front of the message and one line of code return OK users. To explain this function HTTP get is the search by name, is the URL API users / by name / Alex db context user search in the SQL. This where is this translate to SQL query like select from user where name like Alex, and to list async execute the query and return the result as a list, like I explained where I when I write this. Let's test in Swagger get all to be sure user updated and Alex. Let's create a new one, user 2, because we have to see if return all the user with the same name. Try it out. Let's see, let's start with Alex, execute Alex user. The return we have two result, yeah, user 1 updated and user 2. If we write user 1 we'll response user 1, and if we write Vlad error response status for 04. Okay, let's speak about the different HTTP status code. 200 is the client request was successfully proceeded. 200 for the server was successfully flight the request and that there's no additional content to send to the response content. That is for delete. And 404, the origin server didn't find the current representation for the target resource or isn't willing to disclose that one exists. So not found, like I told you. Okay, so let's do all a full CRUD demo. Get all, it's working very well. Get by ID, here is post. Let's create a new user just to test. Marcel around gmail.com. 200 response okay. Get by ID, let's find Marcel. Now 4 is user 2, 5 is Marcel. Let's find Marcel, yeah. Update. Let's update Marcel with new Marcel. I think it's okay. New Marcel. And his new email address. Okay, execute, it's working. Let's delete user 2. 204 response, like I said. And get by name, let's see Marcel. We will find, yeah, is here. Marcel is here with us. Again, get to see everything's right. Yeah, everything's right. It's working perfect, guys. And that's it. We now have a complete CRUD web API connected to SQL Server. Today we learn how to get a single record by ID, update data with put, delete data with delete, get a single record by name, handle errors and return correct status codes, build a full CRUD flow with .NET Web API and MTD Framework Core. In the next episode, we'll learn how to secure our API with authentication using JWT tokens. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please like, subscribe and comment which feature you want me to add next. Authentication, Docker or Swagger customization. See you in the next episode of .NET in minutes, guys. Love you.